Hello, everybody. How we going? It's happy Wednesday. Sorry, I'm just doing the thing that I meant to do 10 seconds ago. Which is to tell people that I'm going live on Instagram. There we go. Oh, so organised, so professional. I'm such a good YouTuber. How is it going? Good morning, social evening, Josh, and all in chat. Ah yes, all my MESBG that I still need to paint. I have a lot of it to do as well, Colonel. Good evening, Yamail Angmar, the tattoo zoologist, Dahi McGibbon, Jungle Camper, Zangerous, Colonel, of course, Pip2, number 42, and Stoogie, and Jungle Camper. I hope I got you. At least today I have power to watch the stream. Oh, no. Oh, you were caught out in the power cuts. That must have been awful. I'm sorry that happened. You too, Wildy. And like Monday with the Iberian power out. That sucks. Good evening, Aiden. You're not late. I'm late, technically. I've only just got here. Today we are building Lord of the Rings miniatures. We are building Lord of the Rings Warriors of the Last Alliance. Hopefully we'll build some Galadrim as well. And we'll also build some Armoured Mirkwood Warriors. That's what we're going to do. To get this video ready. Prepped and ready. It's Middle-earth time, baby. We'll also be hanging out. Chilling out. Maxing, relaxing, all cool. There will be no b-ball outside of the school, however. I can only apologise. Do you have any Lothlorien Wood Elves by any chance? Yes, Jack. We have the Galadrim. Here they are. Woo! We're doing all the flavours of elves for one video. So I'm just going to be casually building these new sculpts. Alas, no. I would be all over that. Like, well, me and sausages. Because I do love sausages. I've had a lot of sausages this week. I've had sausage rolls, I've had cocktail sausages, and I've just had hot dogs. The pajama elves. Oh no, I don't have any of them. So not quite all the flavours. We can probably get some though. What's the vibe here? 1, 2. It's the same sprue twice. So there's 8. Oh right, yeah, 8 warriors of Numenorians. So yeah, I'm just gonna be building them because there's not really anything to build. You see, it's just clipping them off the sprue and putting them on some 25mm bases. So I'm going to getting some of these ready for a video. We're going to be chatting. We're going to be hanging out. You're going to tell me things. I'm going to tell you things. We're all going to have a laugh. Some of you may like the stream. Some of you may not. But these were... The Warriors of the Last Alliance box was the first box of Lord of the Rings miniatures I bought. And by bought, I mean was given. So this is like a very special thing for me to be able to go back and do some of these now. With all of you. With the skills I have acquired over many years of Warhammer painting. It's very exciting. It's a very exciting moment. So, being able to do this is really fun. And getting to share that with you will also be very, very fun for me. So this is one of those... Josh gets to do the thing he wants to, rather than the thing he has to type videos. I don't remember them being this horrible to clean up. Sausages are my love language. You do like to look after me in the sausage department. Wait. I can't undo that. I'm sorry. That's a lesson for every YouTuber out there. Look before you leap into the things that you say. So let's just move swiftly on from that. Evening, just recently returned to painting after 30 years not doing it. Great vids, man. Just done a whole Galadrim army based on your Rumil and Orifin video. Treebeard 2, Eisen next. I'm excited for that. They're such cool models. I'm patiently waiting for Beachbone the Ent to be released. Because I want a Beachbone the Ent to go with my Treebeard the Ent. And then I'm pretty certain there's another one. Is it Quick Beam? Quick Beam's the other one that I think you can buy. I think if I can get a Quick Beam, then I'll have three of the finest of Ents. I have gathered the troops for my Minas Tirith video that I want to film, and I had some news today, which I can't really talk about with you guys, but it does mean I have a little bit less time than I thought I did. So there might have to be a decision made by you, the wonderful chat, as to which one you would rather see. The Elves of Middle-earth or the Minas Tirith army that I have to build and paint. The choice is yours. As always. Boom. One down! Let's go, baby! We're going to need a little bit of glue for this, I suspect. Just got an Orc Man Mangler Mangonel off eBay because my original was so badly painted I want another go. Well, that's awesome. I keep thinking that about a lot of my older miniatures. I keep wanting to buy some of the sort of more classic Space Marine kits. Like some of the old like Captain kits and stuff like that, just to redo them. And then I'm like, I could just strip those old ones, you know? But then I'm erasing my history. Faster than the Blood Knights on Monday. Yeah. I actually finished building them. They are now built. And then because it was really hot, I decided to, instead of paint, I decided to build the other 10 Death Rattle skeletons that were in that spearhead. So I built them, thrown the model on the ground, covered in glue, so that's good. Okay. Recovered. Just don't drop it again, Josh. Whatever you do, for God's sake, don't drop it again. Alright. That is one Warrior of the Last Alliance. One elf. We might do some of the Numenorians at some point. We might not. I'm definitely going to do at least a sprue's worth of each of the elves. The Numenorians will have to come a little bit later. We have done Eonir, the last king of Gondor, so it would be to support him. But I'd have to look at an Arnor army or something like that. Or just like a proper Last Alliance army. But for now, one of the things I want to do is I want to at least get my I want to get a bunch of Helm's Deep-esque Rohan adjacent armies together. And so obviously the Galadrim are part of that. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong as well. I'm sure that there is an actual pronunciation. Forbidden news. Yeah, forbidden news, I'm afraid. Good evening, No Skill Painter. So yeah, we just need to get four high elf bows and 4 high elves with swords built, and then we will move on to the Galadrim, where I suspect we've got a little bit more to do, because there's 24 of them in that box. So it'd lead me to believe that there's 4 with spear, 4 with sword, and 4 with bow in that one box. And when I was a young warthog, I really wanted a Lothlorien army, but all of the elves were metal. They all came in blister packs, and I couldn't afford it. And of course, I've never built and painted the plastic ones. But we did, a long time ago, we were, as has already been mentioned tonight, we were very lucky, and Games Workshop sent me Rumil and Orifin to do, which were 2 of the Lothlorien characters that came out a couple of years ago now. So I built them, painted them, did a video on it. Around about the same time as Treebeard, I believe. Sometime like that. Hello, Kataro. I got a Stormcast Paladins box for €20 from eBay, new on sprue. I know they will go to Legends soon. Yeah. But those Paladins boxes, even if you don't like, they're you could just use the ones with hammers as annihilators with meteoric grand hammers, retributors. I don't think anyone would begrudge you doing that. It's not like they're on the wrong base size or anything. You wouldn't be able to use them as the ones with shields, but you would be able to use them as meteoric grand hammers for sure. I finally bought a Melania, Goddess of Rot, off Etsy the other day. I also got a Let Me Solo Her mini to go with her to make a diorama, hoping to submit for Tales at some point. Aiden, don't tease me like that, man. That sounds hot. I'm not gonna lie. That will cause tightening. Hello, Fallen One. Aiden, you'll be pleased to hear the plan is for the Malekith video to go live next week. I just need to sit and quickly bash out a completion of a run on Elden Ring. Shouldn't take more than 2 hours. He said, with all the confidence, misplaced confidence of a white man. I'm pleased to report, chat, that there are over 60 people currently watching. So, if you could all please leave a like on the stream, I would really appreciate that. Additionally, I will point out a couple of things that you might be seeing on the screen for the first time, if you haven't been around for a little while. You'll notice that there is a goal. There's a couple of goals on the chat on the screen for you. And the one is the Leather Shorts calendar. Now, this is a reference to Monday's stream. And I said that I would release a Warhipster calendar of me wearing leather shorts after a misread message that caused a lot of to do. I said I would release that if we got 1,000 members, and as you can see, we're on 22 of 100 or 1,000. So, if you would like to contribute towards that happening, then by all means, consider becoming a member, or indeed, gifting some memberships. And if you don't want to see that happen, just leave a like on the stream, I guess. Oh, some of you will be interested in this as well. I ordered some stickers. Woo! I've got some new stickers on the way. I'm getting some samples delivered. And so once they're here, if they're any good, I'll get a bunch of them printed off, and then you'll be able to get your hands on some some Warhipster stickers. And then you too can get a black piece of paper and stick a sticker to it and pretend you've got a mat. It's because I'm an idiot, Colonel, and you don't need to apologise that. Did somebody say MESBG? Yes, indeed. I'm building Elves. I've built 2 so far. Going lightning quick. Like I said, if there's something a little bit more interesting to see on the screen, other than me just chopping things off and gluing them to bases, I will put it on the screen, but for now, you get my face. Hi. But yes, I've built 3 now. A whole 3 models. Eat your heart out, Age of Sigmar. Having a Warhipster Battle Ready sticker for my mini carrying case would be pretty neat. That does sound cool, actually. It's a good idea. Hello, James. How you doing? We're going to see the Elves, Master Warhipster. Absolutely. You are in the House of Elrond. I expect 3 models built a minute in any weather. Great reference. Great reference. Now that is soldering. Three rounds a minute? Josh the Warhipster can barely handle 2 on a good day. Is MESBG fun to play? Still on the fence at the moment. MESBG is extremely fun to play. My memory of it is that it's extremely fun to play. And having read all the rules, it is a much more... I think it... Whilst it could be super competitive, I think generally as a community, the MESBG community is a lot more focused on narrative and having fun. So much so that a lot of like organized play, for example, will not be set up to do good versus good, for example. So my experience of tournaments back in long time ago, and some people who've attended more of them more recently will know this better than I, but essentially you would prepare both a good and an evil army, and you would play 2 rounds with your good army and 2 rounds with your evil army. And that would be, you would be matched up faction you know, good versus evil, in order for the balancing mechanics of the game to actually work. Because there are some situations where, you know, like a good army is just not really set up to deal with, like, Boromir of the White Tower. You know, do you know what I mean? Whereas an evil army can be. Does this mean we'll be getting a Fellowship Contrast Plus painting tutorial? I certainly hope we'll be getting a Fellowship Contrast Plus painting tutorial. You'll have to ask my agent, who is me. The answer is yes, I just don't know when. I have a Fellowship to build and paint. Now here's the thing, and I could put a poll out now. Let me explain the video options to you. So I think got the time to do one MESBG video now. So one is the Elves of Middle-earth. It's the Mirkwood Warriors, the High Elves and the Galadrim. We can probably throw in Elrond and Haldir as well to that mix. That's one video. The other is the Warriors of Minas Tirith. And the Minas Tirith video will consist of Warriors of Minas Tirith, Knights of Minas Tirith, Citadel Guard, Guards of the Fountain Court, Hurin the Tall, Ingold of the Ramus Ekor. Did I say Gandalf the White? Gandalf the White, if I haven't already. And Peregrine Took. Hello, Demogorgon. Hello, Dan. Hello, James. So there you go. There's the Elves and there's Minas Tirith. And then the third video is just the Fellowship of the Ring. I have a Fellowship to paint from the Battle in Balin's Tomb board game and some Moria scenery. Yeah, I do too. Well, I have a Fellowship. It's down here. 'Tis by my bedside. Bedside? I'm in my office. I'm not in bed. All of the above. Cool. Well, I best get painting then. See you later, guys. End of the stream. Bye. Will some of that just be a minor tweak, the Minas Tirith stuff you've done? There wouldn't necessarily be tweaks on the Minas Tirith one. Essentially what it is it's a vehicle to deliver... I mean, yeah, I guess there are tweaks obviously involved in that. There's the Citadel Guard, the Guards of the Fountain Court, the Knights of Minas Tirith, Gandalf, Hurin, and Ingold, really. It's basically a case of, I think, for MESBG videos, as much as all I want to do is make them, if you do Contrast Plus How to Paint Gimli, it's not going to do very well. If you do Contrast Plus How to Paint The Fellowship of the Ring, and you've got all 9 of them in there, it's a video that's more likely to do well. And, like, I just keep trying to think of ways to make MESBG content so that it is financially a good decision for me to do. Because if I occupy a slot for one of my videos with an MESBG video, like How to Paint Frecker, it's just a terrible decision. So you put out a video like that, and it's, you know, he's the new one of the bad guys in War of the Rohirrim. It's a great video, but it's done really badly because, you know, it's just not a great subject for a video. So, you know, Ways you can help with that are, of course, being like Dan, who has become a member for 15 months. 15 months! Keep up the great work. Kiss, kiss. Kiss, kiss to you too, Dan. Thank you very much for 15 months of membership. That's legendary support right there. Gandalf the White is Haldir unarmored. Sorry. Haldir is not unarmored. Haldir is the one from... The Haldir I have is from the Heroes of Helm's Deep set. So he's in his golden armor. Gandalf the White gets my vote. Clean White is my absolute nemesis for painting. Gandalf the White. Yeah. But so I mean, look, that's a great example, right? Contrast plus how to paint Gandalf the White is a video that might do okay on its own, but Contrast plus how to paint Hurin the Tall is not a video that will do well on its own. So for me, it's better to do a video of how to paint the forces of Minas Tirith, and then list what's in it, and then you can see from the thumbnail that Gandalf is in it, and therefore he's part of that video. In the same way that I did Contrast plus how to paint Isengard Battle Host. Which contain Saruman, Grima, Uruk-hai, and Uruk-hai scouts. It's just one of those things that really works, you know? Boom, 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 boom. God, it's so refreshing to just clip a model off a sprue. A fully prepared model. Stoogie, thank you very much for being a member for 21 months. Incredible. Incredible scenes. The Knights of Dol Amroth need to come out. I want to see you do those. Do you know, I actually ordered some of them last night. I ordered some Knights of Dol Amroth because I was like, well, I'm going to get something to practice whatever it is I'll do for Prince Imrahil, right? Got to do that. So I did actually order some Knights of Dol Amroth last night. It's also because I needed to order a pot of Pterodon Turquoise and a pot of Black Templar. And then I was just on the Games Workshop website looking stuff up. So, you know, they are on the way. Demogorgon with the 10 gifted Warhipster memberships. That is exceptionally kind of you, Demogorgon. Thank you so very much. See, Demogorgon gets us 10 steps closer. To the leather calendars. Okay. One down. Another one down. That's 5 down. Hey, we're going. Edward 705 with the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. Another 5 steps. Another 5 steps closer to glory. Thank you so much, Edward. That's very kind of you. Where am I? Oh, it's this one. Yeah. Oh, actually, I didn't update this either. That was a foolish thing to do. Actually, maybe I don't need to because I haven't actually finished anything. Hang on, let me just count my models. Models, model completion, there we are. So we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We actually have finished some models. So we should be sat on 213 of the finest models. Can't tell you what they are there yet. Sorry I had to bolt on Monday. Had just arrived in Nottingham. Love you, bud. Love you too, Stooges. Thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Did you have fun in Nottingham? Did you have a grand day out? Bum, 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 bum. Even though that's Bristol. I'm full of a lot of nervous energy today. Well, right now, because I'm very hot. So I think if I keep this kind of like, keep the energy up, it means I keep the stream going. And hopefully I keep it entertaining for all of you. Because I hope it's not too hot where you all are. I, of course, am sat in a loft. With the glue fumes. Yet to overwhelm me. Which is one thing we haven't done yet on stream, which is pass out. It blew your mind. Oh, that's awesome. Did you buy special presents for yourself? A long time ago, they used to have a really large section in the shop for black library books. And so I used to go up there quite a bit when I lived in Leamington Spa. Used to go up to Warhammer World quite often, and then when I worked at Games Workshop as well, went up there quite often. And it was funny because I'd never been to Warhammer World for a very, very long time, and I remember living in Leeds when I was at university, and I was like, maybe it's not actually that far away, and then realizing it was quite far away from where I was, and I was like, Nottingham to Leeds. It's not a short jaunt. It's not a long jaunt, but it's not a short jaunt either. So I never went. But then when I moved to Leamington Spa, because it was within touching distance really there, I used to go quite a lot because there was a bunch of Warhammer mates that I made there as well, which would go as well. So the first time I went there anyway, I spent a lot of money on things like books and stuff. And then because I kept going up there for various trips and stuff in a short period of time, every time I went, I used to go to the Black Library section and just come home with the next few books in the Horus Heresy series, and that's why I have them all on paperback. I have all of the little Black Horus Heresy books on paperback as a single collection, and that is one of those things that. I've talked about it before on the stream of how I have there will be very soon, I hope, a raffle for the world's biggest bits box. I need to gather all of the sprues I have spare and then clip everything off and put it in little bags. And label it all off as to what it comes from. That's a project that's upcoming. I've been filling boxes full of dead sprues, but anyway, the point is, the world's biggest bits box raffle will be coming at some point soon. So if anybody's interested in owning more plastic than it's worth, basically it's just like I said, it's going to be a raffle. If you're into selling your bits one by one, yeah, you will probably want to win that and then make even more money off of it. I, however, don't want to do that. I just want to get rid of it all in one fell swoop and make a cool video out of it as well. But the other one as well, because when we're contemplating moving, we're wanting to move, I should say, this year. The other part of it as well is, do I really want to keep all of the Horus Heresy novels on paperback? And the answer is, well, yeah. I mean, it looks cool as heck on a shelf, having an entire book series, right? But at the same time, I've read them all. And if I'm gonna revisit a book, I'm probably gonna get it on Audible. So I would be keeping all of those novels just for like set dressing, just for window dressing for the stream. And I don't know if that's sensible. I think it's probably not. And so again, it's like, well, I mean, I could put them all on as individual books on eBay or whatever, but maybe we do another raffle for the entire collection of Horus Heresy books. Excluding the Siege of Terror, I don't have all of those. But maybe I buy all of them just to round it out. I spent money to give it away. Speculate to accumulate, you know, that's what they say. I lived in Leeds for a year for uni. Awesome, Dan. I loved Leeds. I was there for 3 years. I went to Leeds Metropolitan, which is now known as Leeds Beckett, and I studied music technology. Hello, Tom. Hi, Steve. Right, we got 2 more Rivendell elves. We've still got 2 more high elves left to build. I went to Leeds College of Art, but I left as the course hated me. Back to London. They were weird in the College of Art anyway. They didn't deserve you. Didn't deserve you, Dan. Such a cheese making promises like that. Take my money. Which one? Bits box or books? It's just like, you know, it's 56 books and it's lovely, but do I want to move them? You know, I don't really want to. I don't want to move them. All of it. Will you be posting? What posting the prizes? I mean, yeah. I mean, I can absolutely look at posting them. It might be that for the books, it's easier for someone to collect them. Otherwise, I think I might have to post them all one by one, because trying to ship that as one box might kill the postman. I don't think they'd take it. I think it'd be way too heavy. Question: what do we reckon this summer's big release will be? I'm hoping for Warcry. I've been waiting for an excuse to get involved. Ooh, it's a good guess, Tom. I currently have absolutely no idea what it will be, but we are now approaching May, and we are on the cusp of May. Tomorrow is May, and that says to me that we're going to start hearing rumblings as to what it will be, probably around about mid-May, because Warhammer Fest was around about this time, I believe. A few years ago, and it's usually when they start the ramp up for that kind of thing. So I think we could hear about it very, very soon. And I'm very excited. New Spearhead and new GHB. Could that be it? No, that won't be it. It's not big enough. You can't lead a summer with those. It's the summer release is usually something akin to. So the last 6 of them have been Age of Sigmar New Edition, 40k New Edition, Contrast Wave 2, and Horus Heresy. Age of Sigmar 3, Yeah. Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. Warhammer 40k 9th edition. Contrast Wave 1. Revamped Mordheim. Oh. Oh. Revamped Mordheim is a shout. If it's not... I would say that if Revamped Mordheim wasn't a shout for this summer, I would say that it is a shout for a Christmas release. Because clearly the old world has gone well. Hence why Cathay is being released. So a Mordheim game might do just as well. Calling it now, Space Hulk, and everyone's getting shiny new Assault Terminators, Loyal and Chaos, as well as Chapter Upgrade Spruce. Yeah, maybe. Actually, yeah, to be fair, the summer release could be Codex Space Marines version 2 with the drop pods and the Assault Terminator. We might have already started to hear about it. That would be something that would justify summer release. Because, you know, every person will buy Space Marines. God, we need Assault Terminators so bad. I don't know why they've taken so long to get out. Well, I would guess it's because somebody, somewhere, when writing this edition, decided that melee was bad. And I think it's because somebody went to a bunch of tournaments and you know, was violated by melee armies. Hence why everything became Strength 6, AP -2, Damage 2. And Thunder Hammers were basically all but been removed from the game. Lightning Claws as well. And I think because Thunder Hammers have been ritualistically stripped from Warhammer 40,000, as have Lightning Claws, Assault Terminators have Lightning Claws and Thunder Hammers. With the Wolf Guard reveal, I can't understand why the rest haven't got them, especially World Eaters and the new Emperor's Children. I understand where you're coming from. I personally, here's my take on it. I don't want new Terminators for anything. And I will explain why. So, let's say Games Workshop goes, right, we're gonna make Emperor's Children. Alright. What should we put into the Emperor's Children book? And I think, like, basically the conversation goes, well, we could give them... World Eaters is a better example. We could give them their own... a set of Terminators. Or we could give them 8-bound. And I applaud the decision to make things like 8-bound, like Flawless Blades. I much prefer that kind of thing than purple Terminators, red Terminators. If you see what I mean. Stop Liam and Tom going on about them. Yeah. I think, like... So, yeah. I think, like, for... Games Workshop are at their best when they're not constrained by things and they're coming up with new stuff. I think that's just better. I think it's just flat better for the game and it's flat better for your model ranges. And it's more exciting. So, like, you can do all of the redesigns in the world, but what I would rather see is just new stuff that comes out and augments a faction. So rather than purple Terminators or pink Terminators, you get the Flawless Blades. That, to me, is just so much more better for the faction than like I said, pink Terminators. And the same for World Eaters. Like, the 8-bound are just better models and more in keeping with the faction, I think, with the vibe of the faction. Then I know you were going to say Red Butchers at me, but I think it's just better. It's more original. Yeah. I'm curious as to the so to answer your question, Dan, I mean, I'm curious as to their factions need more units. They simply don't have enough. How many would be enough? The Night Vexillor flag for Hallowed Knights. Would you do the middle face bit gold, so it's like the newer stuff, or white like the older stuff? I'd probably do it gold like the newer stuff, because it's easier to paint. I'm all for new models and ideas, but Terminator should just be standard for all chapters as they're in the lore. It honestly can't be that hard to bash out upgrade sprues. No, true. However, Terminator suits are incredibly rare. They're supposed to be very difficult to manufacture, very difficult to maintain, and very difficult to hang on to. So it makes sense for a disparate warband of a shattered legion to be unable to retain many suits of Terminators, let alone their own specialized version. I think it's less of a finite unit count and more of a missing holes in the army list compared to another army. True. So I think with Emperor's Children, World Eaters, Death Guard, and Thousand Suns, what they wanted to do was they wanted to create 4 Chaos factions that act differently on the tabletop. And if you have too many units that are the same as the ones in Codex Chaos Space Marines, they start to feel like Chaos Space Marines rather than Emperor's Children, rather than World Eaters. So what they're supposed to be specialized at certain things, right? And you can see that borne out in the Emperor's Children, in that there's a lot of precision and stuff in the army. There's a lot of speed as well, and there's very little gun. And so what they've given them is they've given them basically it's a combat focused army that acts like a rapier, like a dueling weapon, like a fencing sword. And it's supposed to be, tip of the spear almost. Whereas World Eaters is a hammer, it's an anvil, it's an axe, it's brutal, it's hardcore. That's what they've gone for with World Eaters. Death Guard they've kind of positioned to be mostly a shooting army, and the same for Thousand Suns. If you're going to put it right down the middle, that's how they've kind of done it. Is it right? I don't know. Is it cool? I don't know. Hello, Swennels. I will also point out, Emperor's Children and World Eaters do have Terminators. They do have Chaos Terminators. I know they might not necessarily look right, but they do have them. It's not like they don't have them at all. These are interesting. Well, the Galadrim are a little bit more involved. I'm confused. What? How are these supposed to go together? Okay. There also do need to be weaknesses of the armies. Like, that's the other thing. It's like if you give Thousand Suns like a hardcore, fast combat unit, they effectively become a perfect faction that has no weaknesses. Same for like if you gave, well, it's less relevant now, but if you gave Tau in sort of 9th and 10th, 8th, 9th edition, 7th edition, so on and so forth, if you gave them Psykers, they effectively become a perfect faction. What is magic like in MESBG? It's pretty good. I don't 100% know exactly how it works. There'll be experts in the chat that will know exactly what they're talking about. Hello, Blethen, in France. And hello, France, says Demogorgon. I echo that. If you would paint orcs like the Warcraft Mag'har orc skin, how would you do it? I would use Gore Grunter Fur. Or I would use some thinned down Cygor Brown. GBW want to make as little molds and new sprues as possible, but still make money. I don't know how true that is. But, I mean, they want to make money, but for them it's a license to print money to bring out something like an Emperor's Children. You bring out Emperor's Children, everyone buys it. You bring out World Eaters, everyone buys it. So like any Primarch, they just do it and makes money. And like the problem is as well, like, and they've definitely run into this, like with Eldar. Spotted this with the Eldar releases, right? Is if you start releasing, if you look at like the most popular factions in Chaos Space Marines, you'd probably say World Eaters were definitely up there, especially given as they were in the sort of in the Dark Vengeance 7th edition box. There's a lot of people who have World Eaters armies, so they already have a lot of Terminators and stuff. So if you release a new set of Terminators that replace those Terminators, people don't buy them. They go, well, I've already got Terminators, so I don't need them. And you saw that with the Eldar. You know, if you think about how difficult it is to try and get some models when they come out new on pre-order, right? Eldar, you could still buy all of the Phoenix Lords apart from Lycus like 2-3 days after the pre-order date. Same for all of the Aspect Warriors, because a lot of people look at it and go, we need new Fire Dragons. There you go. All right, here's plastic Fire Dragons. They go, I've already got 30. I don't want these, but I'm glad that they exist now. Same thing with Swooping Hawks. Same thing with Warp Spiders. Have you played the Oblivion remaster yet, Josh? If so, what's your thoughts? I am absolutely loving it. I haven't. Because I've played Oblivion. I don't want to play it again. It's not that I didn't like it. I've played Oblivion a long time ago. And I don't need to relive it. I've done it once before. So, I'm just losing subscribers today. Is the thumbnail and title sarcasm? Because all those elves look very samey with quite a dull colour scheme. How dare you, Black Hole Eyes. They're not Sylvaneth, I'll tell you that. No, they're not. This is Lord of the Rings, baby. This is where I cut my teeth. It does not get better than this. Well, for me. I just love this. I love the MESBG models. Trim Warriors. I need to look at the box for these because there's no instructions. You just kind of have to figure it out. Which is fun for Josh. Interesting. Okay. I'm just going to start with all the swords because that seems pretty easy. Yeah. No, it's okay to not be interested in everything everyone else is. Yeah, like I said, I'm really glad that the Oblivion remaster has happened. Or you're not supposed to call it one of them. It's a remaster, isn't it? Not a remake. That's what they insist on it being called. But yeah, it's cool. It's just I'm not gonna do it because yeah, I played it a long time ago. But the same thing with Skyrim. I've played that game. If they remaster that, I'd be like, yeah, I've done this. I did this a lot when it first came out. I don't need to do it again. Nudoc Prime, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Should you repaint old models to fit army standard? I don't know if there is a right or wrong answer to that question. I don't know. I think if that's something you want to do, then sure. If it's... yeah, that's one of those things. It's like, I personally don't think I would. Like, you know, I wouldn't go back through all the Blood Angels I didn't do with Baal Red and redo them. And, like, I wouldn't also go back and redo some of my ancient Blood Angels. Because they're quite tender memories for me of being quite young. And in the same way I haven't stripped my old Warriors of the Last Alliance in order to do this video. I bought a new box. But I also think, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. It's just kind of do what you like. Hello, Captain Menrings. You agree to disagree. You're glad that I have them. I'm glad you like your browns and greens. They're gold. And I love painting gold. Space Wars will be really cool if you do them. Well, I'll see what I can do. You did redo your Cadians. I changed the green on my Cadians, to be fair. That is true. Yeah, I would take it on a case by case basis. Like my Cadians were a couple of years, a year, 2 years old. Like I was just revisiting a project that I've done since this. What I wouldn't do is go back and repaint my old Cadians. I'd just keep them the way they are. My Screamer came out fantastic. Well, that's lovely to hear, Dominic. Thanks for your guide. Oh, that's very kind of you. Of course, part of this hobby is all the constraints and rules are self-inflicted. You really can do whatever you like, and it'll be correct. Yeah, there you go. No, nary a truer word hath been spoken. Yeah, I was looking at the new Space Wolves, and they're a little bit bluer than the older stuff. The older stuff's very, very, very cold. A little bit more warmth in them. And I was kind of thinking, like, does that mean you do it with rainbow? I don't think it does. I think what you do is you add a little bit of Tyran blue to the mix. But we'll see. We'll see what happens as and when the Space Wolves are on the way. I was thinking about it today. I was like, there's one change. That's the one change I might make to my Space Wolves videos. Is still use Space Wolves Grey. Still do it over Greyseer. Still use the glaze of Rust Grey to bring it out and smooth it out. But then to just add a little touch of Tyran Blue over the top before highlighting. But like I said, we'll see what happens as and when they come. No pre-orders this week. Is that significant? It means that something went wrong somewhere. And, yeah. So I guess in some ways, yes, it is significant. Because it's been a while since we've had a 0 pre-orders week, I think. Can't remember the last time it happened. Would Rust Grey look different over white than over the Fang? Yes, it will look brighter. It'll go on easier as well. Because the Fang is very dark. we can eat this week. He's a little bit. Behold my stuff. Are you not happy at the minute, Captain Mannerings? Just saw Colonel's message. Is everything okay? Aside from the general state of the world. Hello, Sir Strummingfish. Maybe that is a solution for you as well. Space Wolves Grey over Korax White or White Scar. I've thought about that. I think the way to make Space Wolves Grey impactful enough for it to look good on the model is either going to be to do the glaze, basically. So actually going brighter affects all the other details. So it can work. It could make the yellow, for example, look better. It could make the red look better. I don't think it'll have an impact on the armor. It's only because Space Wolves Grey is a paint. It's not perfect for making Space Wolves armor just straight out the pot. And to make Space Wolves armor straight out the pot is you're gonna have to mix a lot, which is why I've done it in the past of doing Space Wolves Grey and then Rust Grey. Rust Grey glaze to sort things out. I just found it's the quickest way of doing it, but it's also the easiest way of doing something like that gladiator right there. Good to see Middle-earth back on the menu. Indeed it is. You look handsome in the thumbnail, Josh. Well, thank you. just not on the stream. Health took a bit of a turn and upgrade day at work went pretty smooth, but colleagues can be arses. Meh is what it is. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry you're having a bad time. Is there anything I can do? I can make faces at you. Submitted my mediocre Tales entry. Now listen, nothing you've ever done has been mediocre, Captain Mandarins. That's not true. I am sure that it is the polar opposite to mediocre and is in fact magnificent. As it always is. Because you're a magnificent man, Nurings. I followed your Neuro Tyrant guide to a T and my guy turned out perfect. Well, I love to hear that, Dominic. I still have to highlight the armor plates on 20 guys. Hoping I can get it done in time. James, I believe in you too. You can do it. You've got more hours. Speaking of Tales, when are you going to put the poll up in Discord for the next challenge, Josh? This one's not even over yet. It's not even May yet. Also, the answer to that question, because I'm being defensive, is I don't know. Maybe I'll try and put one up tomorrow, because it will be the 1st of May. God. Can magnificent really be the polar opposite to mediocre? What about poor? The opposite of poor is rich, isn't it? And his name is Reza Prime. All I know is, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, the only thing I know is that you, that's right, all of you, speaking to all of you, are incredible people. And you're kick-ass people. And you're one of a kind. Which makes you spectacular and beautiful. And it is a joy to be able to share my evenings with you. And to share this time with you. To speak to you directly and to hear about your days. And to share this wonderful hobby life with all of you. And for that reason, you are truly magnificent. We've already said that. More likes than viewers. What is this wizardry? I don't know, Demogorgon. There you go. It's evened out now. Hello, Philip. Having played a few games of the latest edition of MESBG, I can now safely say Legolas got a glow-up he neither needed nor deserved. Hey, what's with the Legolas hate? Perhaps Games Workshop just felt bad for him because they realised that the cinematic version of Legolas, Frodo doesn't even know the name of. And they're like, let's give him a bit of a boost. Poor Leggy. I don't understand why these Galadrim are like this. Doesn't make sense. Does Tails run every year, or do you take a year off in between? I only ask because I've painted more the past 5 to 6 months than ever before, all thanks to Tails 100%. We don't necessarily... So, Tails 1 happened, and there was quite a gap. I can't remember how long the gap was. I think it was 6 to 8 months, something like that. It was quite a gap. There was, I think, 3 months gap between Tails 2 and Tails 3. Tails 3 is due to end in December, I think. Hang on, let me look it up. To the YouTubes! So the final stream of Tails 3... No, that's Tails 2. We don't want Tails 2. Live. Tails 3, there you are. So the final stream of Tails 3 is due to be... Yeah, on the 14th of December. So we might take like a month or two off before Tales 4 begins. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a consistent a consistent series. November is the last submission. Yeah, I think so. I need to go and find my document, but it's going to be like last time where we did a roundup stream afterwards. So obviously there's May, June, July, August, September, October, November. The deadline for November is basically the family photos one, which we did a what do you call it, epilogue. That's the final. Prologue is before, epilogue is after, right? Anyway, we did an epilogue, which was the family photos stream, as the finale. You know, like when a long running TV series decides to have a final farewell, where they just have a documentary at the end where they all interview each other, so telling them how special a job they did. Have we got any more swords on here? Yes, we do. Is it you that's the one with the sword? No. It is... It's you, I think. Ba-doo-doo. Yay for guesswork. Okay. We're all good. We're all groovy, chat. Hello, Mr. Gwatkin. Last night, my Legolas got charged by 2 models. He shot the 2 horses while in combat. Legendary. It's a very Legolas thing to do, let's be fair. It's finally starting to cool down up here. I've just tried out painting the base rooms of my Emperor's Children pink. I usually do base rooms black. Now I'm torn. Any advice? Well, I mean, it's your hobby. You can do what you like. Which is the cop-out answer. Honestly, like, there is no right or wrong answer to that. Some people will tell you that all base rims should be black. Some people will tell you that the base rim should be a dark version of the main color of your armor, of your model. Some people will tell you do whatever the hell you like, and I am in that camp. I generally default to a black base rim because I just like how it looks. Because I think it isolates the basing, which is nice. I'm also a big fan of a Steel Legion drab base rim, and a Mechanica standard grey base rim. They also look really nice. Hey, love your videos. They help me so much to paint way better. And I just finished my Stormcast Spearhead with your guide. Oh, that's awesome, God's Shady. Making the right choices out here with the Stormcast Eternals, I'm telling you. Tonight was very nearly a Stormcast stream. You'd have got to watch me build Stormstrike Paladors. Again, if you watched the video when I did them last time. I do my rims different on every team. That makes sense. Makes sense to me. I based them with the recipe you use for EC, and I think it's too similar to the pink in tone. I can see that. I can see how it might look like there's just sort of this sort of gap between the model and then its feet. You could try giving them like a burgundy rim if you want it to be a little bit more interesting. You could go for something like Baraknar burgundy or Galvorbak red, something like that. It would be in the same color palette, but at the same time, just a little bit more interesting than a black rim. Wondering how many Stormcast models got painted worldwide following your guides. I wonder that too. I like to think that every time someone views one of my videos, that counts as a painted model done by somebody else, not by me, but done by somebody else. As usual, you have named some colours I don't have. Gonna need more shells. Have you got any purples? Purples would also really work for an Emperor's Children base rim. Be a nod to the Legion. Something like Nagaroth Knight, Xerius purple, Phoenician purple. Um, so if I go to my channel and go to that, so we've had 13,488,707 views on the channel. So I like to picture in my mind that's out there as a consequence of my videos, 13 million miniatures have been painted, which would be sick. Right. Archery time. Yay! Wow! Guys, I don't know if you know this, but like, I am an elite builder of miniatures. I have built 12 whole models in the last hour and a half. You produce more videos than GW these days. I produce a lot of videos. I've got 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 videos coming up for you guys over the next couple of weeks. Speaking of World Eaters, we've got Contrast Plus How to Paint the Slaughterbound tomorrow. Which puts me back on a 100% completed rate for all things new World Eaters. Which I gotta say makes me feel very, very accomplished. It makes my brain happy to be like that. So we've done that for Emperor's Children, and we've done that for World Eaters. We haven't done that for Thousand Suns or Death Guard. I know what a bunch of people want those videos. I'm sorry. Magic number of likes. Nice. Yes. Let's do it. 69. Let's go, baby. We are 32 members away from the magic number of likes for the Leather Shorts calendar goal as well. Josh isn't on a sizable GW payroll is shocking. I know, right? I should be the contrast czar. In charge of selling contrast paints. I saw they did a video actually the other day which was like 500 points in 500 minutes, which I quite liked the idea of doing. As a thing, but rather than doing 500 in 500 naturally in Warhipster land, we would do 2000 in 2000. $2,000 of Bard's Children in 2,000 minutes. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to see the end of the channel, we could definitely do it. 1,106 videos versus 926 videos for GW. Ah, see? Okay, cool. We are beating them then. Admittedly, quite a few of my videos are streams. Whereas I don't think many of theirs are. 800 points of done Harrow in 15 minutes. Huh? I think the new paintery people have been good, but not the sort of content for me. I think they're trying to be a bit more YouTuber-y in how they make their content, which I don't think is a bad idea for them. I just think, like, there are YouTube trends that just don't really suit miniature painting. At least to my mind, they don't really suit miniature painting. It's like all the, you'll never believe what happened when I took 200 people and I put them in a room and then I set some raccoons loose in there. You'd be like, that kind of thing. Just it doesn't suit. And so when with like miniature painting being quite a cozy thing to do, if you put that kind of energy into the video, I think it turns people off. Which, is perfectly fair. I buried this Warhammer hobbyist alive for 24 hours to paint his pile of shame. These are all legitimate. Legitimate hobby videos that I've had ideas for when I've been going through my states of madness. DJ Salad, as someone who grew up in rural Australia, there was a hobby awakening that occurred when they brought out that fantastic Lord of the Rings magazine with the models. Moria Goblin's all-time favourite. Are you and Mr. Gwatkin related, DJ Salad? That sounds like a very familiar story. Those magazines were sick. I would love for them to do them again. Instead of just boring old 40k and Age of Sigmar. Boo. I'm kidding. I love them both. Before the angry commenters arrive. You will never believe what happened when Warhipster painted Bard's family. I'll make one of those. I did actually think about it the other day. For the Bard's family video, right? I thought I could make one of those. Hang on, I'll show you. Actually, no. Let me build this first, because otherwise I won't do it. So, tell me if you've seen this one before. So, for the memes. It would be a video that some people make, but it's always the same thumbnail that they use when they make this video. So it was going to be... Hang on, there we go. That is another Galadrim elf all built. So, hold on. So the thumbnail... The thumbnail looks like this. That's what the thumbnail looks like. And then what you have is a title. Let me just borrow this one. So this is the thumbnail, right? And this is the title. I'm definitely clicking that clickety-click plate. Yeah, exactly. It'll get you all, and you'll be like, oh god, what's he done? Oh no, he's retiring. Oh no, he's quitting YouTube. No, he's painting Bard's family. I feel conned, Warhipster. And then there will be much rage. I'm confused. Why are there... So there's 4 swordsmen, but I'm seeing 5 archers. I'm confused. I'm very confused. Oh, I see what I did. I am an idiot. I clipped an archer off the wrong sprue. Okay. Cool. Well done, Josh. Okay, I'll put you back there. Whoops. Well done, Josh. But yeah, so that's the video that I think we'll make when we do Bard's family. This will be my last video. Yeah. It'll be very interesting as well to see what the comments would be like on that video. Just a lot of people are going, thank you for everything that you did. No, wait. Wait, hold on. I'm not retired. Clipping that. You best hope I never have to actually make one of those videos. Because, you know, as Captain Mannering said, I am not on the Games Workshop payroll. Instead, I rely on you guys for that. I rely on all of your incredible support to keep us going. I was asked again the other day if I would go and work for them in their painting team. And I think my answer genuinely would be if, like, if we hit a, you know, global recession and YouTube was no longer working, then yeah, I would. You'd surrender your soul. We'd never see you again. No. But that would be alright. Do not weep, for not all tears are an evil, I believe is the saying. The problem is that you'd have to paint with their base and layering method, wouldn't you? Well, yeah, I would, and then I would probably be fired because I'd be like, can't we do it this way? Nah. Would be so funny to see Josh's face as JM to come in and drop the remaining subs needed. Well, for the Leather Shorts calendar. If I'm pulling that face. How sad a face can Josh do? I can't really get that sad. I don't know, how was that? Your backlog could probably keep you going a while. Oh, yeah, no, I could create content forever, I suspect, out of the amount of models that I have. I don't think I could... I think I could probably make videos for... without purchasing another model, I could probably make videos for a good couple of years. Probably 5-6 years. Only keeping it to, like, 2 videos a week. But... you would easily be able to do it. Just doing a tutorial on a thing. Okay, not that I am obsessed with base rims or anything. The pink rim looks like it is taller than the black and purple ones. Is there some reason for that? I don't know. It might just be a trick of the eye because it's a brighter colour. Josh would sooner start an OF account called Only Painters than abandon Contrast Plus. That is true. That is true. Why would I paint models in a way I'm not comfortable? That's the question I always find myself asking. Is like, I think I'm pretty good at what I do. And in the short moments where I actually have confidence and self-worth, self-esteem, is what I meant to say there. Self-worth sounds a lot darker. In the short moments where I have confidence and self-esteem, I go, do you know what? I'm really good at what I do. I say that to myself in the mirror. To psych myself up. And then it doesn't work if I'm about to get in the shower, because then I'm like, oh god, what happened? Who are you? And why have you eaten Josh? Just don't complete the sentence a la Wolverine. What you do is pretty. Why, thank you. On a good note, Laura and her dad finally found our water meter today, buried and several meters from where they had indicated, also reading 4,200 units less than they had previously measured. Hey, that is good news. Hello, Frothy Paints. How you doing? Should ask that as a YouTuber, really. How you doing? Don't know why I did that. Just did. Okay. You have to live with it. I have to live with it. It's groovy. Yeah. Drinking my morning coffee and watching my little lad run around the lounge room. That sounds magical. Starting the day off right. Okay. We have built almost 16 whole models in one stream. There's God tier. Yes, I know I'm not doing very much. But let me have my moment. I had to actually do something for the Galadrim after all. And there are still 4 spearmen left to build. But they're a lot more involved. Because they involve arms and shields and heads. Which is interesting. I'm pretty pleased though. 8 Galadrim, 8 High Elves. We'll have to do 6 Mirkwood as well. Realistically, I should have just done 2 of each. 2 swords, 2 bows, 2 spears. In a rare spot of common sense, they thought that remote meter reading having a value of 4,300 units for a brand new property meter might indicate an error and didn't issue a bill, they being the water company. That does surprise me that that's actually quite a reasonable position and thing for them to do. Because I've had utilities company go, look, I understand that you've only been there 2 days, but you owe us several £100. And I'm like, no, I don't. It ain't my bill to pay. When I moved into my flat in Leamington, that's what happened there. Is I signed up to the same energy provider because it was what was recommended by the estate agent. And the place had clearly been empty for many moons. And they were like, yep. So now that you're in, you actually owe us, I think it was like a £600 electricity bill. And I was like, what do you mean I owe you £600? I was like, well, all that electricity you've used. I was like, in 2 days, I built a bookcase and a bed. These must be some really expensive light bulbs to run if that's the case. Anyway, it turned out the estate agent hadn't paid any of the bills. Whilst they'd been managing the property. They'd just been hoping that someone else would do it, and it just hadn't been being done. And that was a long time ago. That was back when energy was cheaper. Significantly more so than it is now. Let's just get this spear built. We need a head as well. Looking to get a head. I'll tell you guys the stupidest story when it came to my interactions with a company of all times. So a long time ago, when I used to work for Sky, I went to India as part of launching a contact center. And I was there for 2 weeks. It was a lovely, great time. Now, when I went to India, I was told by various... I was advised by various sources that what I should do is notify all of my, utilities or whatever that I was going to be using whilst I was out there. That I had, in fact... that I actually was, in fact, in India, right? Because, for some reason it was a difficult thing. They were just like, look, if you're gonna go to India, let your phone provider know, let your card provider know that that's what you're doing. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I let them all know that I was going to India for 2 weeks. And they said, yep, absolutely no problem. Thank you very much, Mr. Josh. And I said, cool. And off I went. And I was in India for 2 weeks. And when I got home, I landed at Heathrow at a reasonable time. It's sort of 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I pulled out my phone to call the driver who was to take me back to the office so that I could then go home. So I pulled out my phone and I tried to call and it just won't connect. So I thought, okay, maybe something's gone wrong there. So I reset the phone and reset the phone again. Reset the phone again, so my phone wasn't working. I was like, okay, cool. Something's gone terribly wrong. I'll just use a payphone to send the call. So I find a payphone, make the call that I need to call, and then wait for the car. And the car arrives and takes me all the way to the office, where I then get on the train and go home. All good stuff. Anyway, I wake up in the morning, because after, once I got home, I was just so obliterated that I just kind of had some dinner and went to bed. And in the morning, I was like, right, I'm going to sort the phone out. So I ring Orange. And Orange, at the time, EE is what it would have been. I ring EE, and I'm like, so, hey guys, what's the deal? My phone isn't working. And they went, well, your phone's not working because you haven't paid your bill. I said, I have paid my bill. So, no, you haven't paid your bill. You need to pay your bill. And I'm like, okay, but the bill just goes out by direct debit. And they said, no, you need to pay your final bill. And I was like, what do you mean my final bill? He said, we have a call from you saying that you wanted to cancel your account. I said, no. You have a call from me notifying you that I was going to be in India. He said, well, yes, that's what's strange. You called us to cancel your account, and then your phone appeared in India. So we assumed that it had been cancelled by somebody who'd stolen it. I was like, are you joking? I was like, no. I was like, okay, well, I didn't want to cancel at all. You've got the complete wrong end of the stick. I need you to go and listen to that phone call. So, we don't record things. Yes, you do. Because I work in customer service, and you tell me that calls will be recorded for training purposes. You have that record on the account, right? And if you don't, I do. Oh, right, okay. Anyway. So, they then call me back later on and say, yeah, so as soon as you send us the £900, we'll turn your phone back on. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, right, well, because you cancelled. It's like, I never cancelled. Because you cancelled, you owe us the duration of your contract. So what we'll do is we'll set you up with a new contract. I was like, I don't want a new contract because I didn't cancel the original one. What are you talking about? And it went round and round and round and round and round the houses. Till eventually, I managed to finally speak to someone who was like, okay, yeah, I can see what's gone wrong here. Hold on, I'll just hit undo on everything that's been done to your account. You owe us $29.99, whatever it was, for your contract, because whilst you were away, you were supposed to have paid a direct debit, and it didn't happen. I suspect what happened was there was a stop on the account, maybe, because you were in India at the time. And I was like, okay, well, that's absolutely fine. I can reset up the direct debit. And he said, reset up the direct debit, but we won't charge you because this has been an absolute bloody nightmare. And I was like, thank you very much. But it took so long. And I think I spoke to 7 or 8 different advisors before someone finally got the hint. How long was the flight / where in India did you fly to? I flew to Mumbai. I went a couple of times. The flight, I can't remember how long the flight was. It's long. 20 hours? No, not as long as that. It's a long flight. I can't remember. 16, 17 hours, something like that. It's a lot. It is a long flight, but I flew into Mumbai both times. That's some pretty awful service. Yeah, it was awful. I'd been with Orange. I'm still with EE, but I'd been with EE since I was, since I'd moved to university, since I was 19. And at that point, I would have been. So I'd been with them for like 7 or 8 years at that point. How was India? So Warhipster was in India. Yeah, I was. I think I went 3 times in the end. I can't remember now. It was great. It's an opportunity I would never have normally gotten to do something like that. So, you know, for that alone, that reason alone, it was just wonderful. And I loved the people I worked with whilst I was out there. They were great. Just awesome, awesome people. They're just really fun, really cool people. At one point, when I was working at Sky, one of the first time I was made redundant at Sky, or went through consultation, I should say. The first time I went through consultation at Sky, I went through it 3 or 4 times, but we were initially offered, so your jobs are moving to Mumbai, and we were like, oh, so naturally you all want to take redundancy, and a bunch of us just went, yeah, but what if we want to go? And they were like, no one ever says that. It's like, go away and come back with the answer, because they're just not prepared for that. But that's it, is like when they do that, they just expect everyone to be like, well, I can't leave home. But there were a couple of people who worked at the office who were like, to be honest, it would just be going home, but on a much better wage. And it's like, yeah. Yeah, it was wonderful. I got to do a lot of very cool things when I worked for Sky. I got to work in India. I got to go to Delhi several times to Delhi. I got to spend a month in Derby setting up a contact centre. I got to I got to make a bunch of videos with Ross Kemp. Close personal friend of the channel, Ross Kemp. Ross, I know you're watching. Imagine. Yeah, just got to do a lot of cool stuff. It's a nice life, if you can get it. After all. Well, I didn't quite build all the elves I wanted to do, so because I built quite slowly, but also had a really lovely time chatting with all of you. Thank you very much for hanging out with me tonight. We got to 77 likes. What faction does Ross play? I'm betting Eldari. Do you know what? It never came up. We were in the midst of working, so I never kind of just be like, so yeah, Ross, come on. You know, like, what are your thoughts of the Necron Decurion? Because I think if I had said that, he'd have been like, can we focus on work, please? Very professional man. Just wanted to talk about work. Close personal friend of the channel, Ross Kemp. It's like one of the weirdest experiences was we were filming some stuff for the learning management system. And we filmed some videos where we managed to get some FaceTime with Sky Sports F1's coverage team. So we had a bunch of them just come and do some interviews and stuff. And one of them was Damon Hill. Anyway, one of the things we asked him, it was ahead of the Australian Grand Prix. One of the things we were asking, are you excited for, this, that, and the other, and anything? It's like, what else do you guys get up to when you're in Australia, and this, that, and the other? And they all said, we're really excited to go and see Parkway Drive. And I was like, okay. And they were like, do you know Parkway Drive? I know Parkway Drive. I'm curious as to why you know Parkway Drive. Yeah, that was very surreal. Just, yeah. It was very, very odd. And that was all I could think of was just that group of the F1 presenters at a Parkway Drive gig, just being like, this is our jam, and me being just like, I want to go and see Parkway Drive. Yeah, that was really odd. I got to interview Kevin Cadle. NFL UK fans, you'll remember Kevin. He was really happy. Him and Neil from Sky Sports NFL, they were really happy because they'd done a bunch of stuff that day with a lot of people who were just asked questions about NFL. And then I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions about the NFL. And they're like, yeah, cool. But I actually knew what I was talking about. And they were like, we haven't had anyone interview us yet who likes the sport today. And I was like, yeah. So we ended up going over by a significant amount of time because we were just talking NFL. That was lovely. It was a really lovely afternoon, that one. Is Ross Kemp a celebrity in Europe? Ross Kemp is, yes. Ross Kemp, famous for his role in a soap in UK television called EastEnders, where he played Grant Mitchell. And then he did, what was it? What was the SAS show? Somebody will tell me in chat. He did a bunch of things. He became this thing. He became known as a bit of an hard man. Not really. And then there was a documentary series, it was like Ross Kemp on gangs, where he went and interviewed gang members. Europe might be a bit broad for him. Yeah. I was in the SAS. You know what it stands for? Special Air Service? Nah. Super Army Soldiers. Log off now, folks. My little grot will be waking me up a few hours. You all have a good night, and thanks for the stream, Josh. Thank you, Aidan. Thank you for hanging out. I realise we've just been talking about my career for the last 10-15 minutes, which must be really boring, because it's not my Warhammer career, and that's where you go. That's where we all met. Yeah, we are probably going to wrap the stream up there for tonight. So, a huge thank you to everybody who hung out with me tonight. Just want to say, as always, just a big thank you to Dan Stoogie for the months of membership. I'm pretty sure we had some more membership milestone chats as well, but thank you very much. Demogorgon, Edward for the 10 and the 5 gifted memberships, incredibly generous of you, and Stoogie and Nudok Prime for the super chats. It is very, very, very kind of you, and like I said before, and we say so often on the channel, and you get berated with this by every YouTuber, but it is true, that it is without you guys that this is just not possible to do at all. So, yeah, honestly, it's from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. And I hope tonight was fun for you. I hope you enjoyed it, because I certainly did. So thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. There will be Contrast Plus How to Paint the Slaughterbound for you tomorrow. World Eaters fans out there. And then on Saturday, Contrast Plus How to Paint Alfarius, Primarch of the Alpha Legion. So, yeah, 2 great videos coming up for you. Make sure you check them out. 7:30 PM GMT, or British Summer Time, I believe is actually what it is. BST. So, yeah, make sure to check them out. And I will see you all very soon in the next one. You gorgeous, lovely people. Here is the hand of farewell, and I shall wave it at you. Bye for now. Love you, chat. Bye!